Please confirm to me that you've joined so I don't talk to myself. I'd love to be sure that you're here with me. This is meant to be an intercourse, and no true intercourse happens without being a symbiotic activity between more than a person. So I'd love to confirm that I have audience. If you're here with me, please, I'll be grateful if you can just type on the comment section. Can you just confirm to me that you're here? Please, I'll be grateful. You can just type to say, I'm here. I can hear you. Something. Okay? I'll be most grateful if you do that. It appears that I have some people already, but just something in the comment section, please, so that I confirm that I have a live audience. Okay, while I wait to read something from you, let's dive into it already. So tonight, we will be discussing 5 ways that we can protect our children from matrimonial conflicts. 5 ways that we can protect our children from conflicts that may arise in marriages. I'm waiting to still see someone confirm that they're here. And please don't leave. Remember that there is a data prize for the picking. Someone will pick a data prize. Of course, that will come with answering a question. So please, I will appreciate if you just confirm to me in the chat box. Just talk to me in the comment section and tell me that you're live, you're here, and that you can hear me. Please. So, why are we having this conversation tonight? In the course of my work, one of the most painful things I encounter often is seeing children torn between parents who are having an issue, parents who are quarreling, parents who are, undergoing a conflict. Unfortunately, a lot of people do not realize that while it may sometimes, they can have a healthy quarrel between 2 adults, of course as spouses, it is unhealthy when that quarrel begins to impact the children. When the quarrel begins to affect the children, that becomes unhealthy. And that is not good for the well-being of the child. That's not well-being that's not good for the well-being of the children of the marriage. Will quarrels happen? Naturally. There will always be disputes, conflicts. It's a natural course of life. After all, even the teeth sometimes bite the tongue. So it is natural, it is normal for 2 people to quarrel in a union. But how that quarrel is handled, particularly as to how it may affect the children, is a matter that we need to be careful with and careful about. So like I said earlier, tonight we're discussing 5 ways that we can protect our children from whatever conflicts that may be happening within a marriage. They are our treasures. They are innocent of whatever those issues are. They deserve every protection, every care. We need to prioritize their well-being, their interest. And we're under duty by the law to ensure that the best interest of the children are always protected at all times. Always. So we will start off with what I think may appear a pedestrian advice, but a very important one regardless. And that will be to advise that we should not fight in front of the children. Don't fight before them. Don't let them see the anger, the animosity between the both of you. Don't let them see the verbal exchanges, those harsh words that you haul at each other. Don't let them see one of you strike the other. Don't let them see anything that depicts violence, whether in language or in actual action. Anything that depicts violence, our children should be insulated from such sights. It is unhealthy, it is not good for their wholesome development, and it socializes the children wrongly. It begins to predispose them to accepting violence as a normal way of life, which is false, which is not true. So if we want to see a new generation of children who grow into adults that are civil, that are courteous, that are well-mannered, that understand how to, discuss matters and hash out whatever issues without recourse to violence, we need to set the example. We need to show them how to live and how not to live. So when violence happens in front of children, whether it is verbal, psychological, physical, however, chances are that those children begin to absorb the example that they see, and it socializes them wrongly and begin to groom them into adapting and accepting violence as a healthy means of life, which is not true. So the first thing, like I've said, is that we should please not fight in front of our children, whether it is by words or by actual physical fight. Anything that depicts violence should not happen in front of the children. The second thing is, can we please save the children from having to choose? Let us not make them choose between one spouse or the other, one parent or the other. Choose between daddy and mommy. That's unfair. That's unhealthy. A bad father can actually be a good husband. A bad husband can actually be a good father. Vice versa. A bad wife can also be a good mother. And the children are entitled to the love and care of both parents. So as much as it is practicable, it is important that we insulate our children from making that unfair choice. We shouldn't push them to the point where they have to choose whether they want to relate with daddy or they want to relate with mommy. Even if things deteriorate to the point where parties decide to go their separate ways, either by a legal separation, a judicial separation, or by a divorce, it should still not deteriorate to the point where the children have to choose one parent over the other. They may actually be in the physical custody of one parent because, of course, we cannot divide them into two. The children are better left in one piece, and where there are siblings, it's usually best that the siblings stay together in one roof, even for sibling bonding, so that they continue to develop well as siblings. So, but while they may be in the physical custody of one parent, it is best that they continue to enjoy a healthy relationship with both parents. It is best that where one parent is in custody, maybe the other will have access, except where it is proven that that other parent is a threat to the well-being of the child. Then yes, that will be an extreme situation. Otherwise, it is best that children are allowed, encouraged to have a healthy relationship with their both parents, because no one person can play the role of the two parents. You can only try. You can't be father and mother at the same time. You can only try. Except where life deals you a rough hand and your partner or your spouse is, a risk, is a threat to the child or to the children. Otherwise, as much as is possible, it's best that the children are not made to pick and choose. That said, the third thing I would like to talk about is what I see many people do. Because there is a conflict, because there is a quarrel, because there is a dispute, they begin to look for how to hurt each other. Some people begin to look for how to spite the other person. And they think that the better way to do that is to use the children as a bait, as a trophy, as, a prize, as something with which to deal with the other person. That's most unfair. We should not turn our children into, baits, into trophies, into anything with which we want to harm the other or hurt the other as a weapon. No, that's not fair. Our children are human beings. They have emotions. They are watching, they are observing. Some of the things they may not understand today, they will understand in the course of time. And if we're not careful, we may be grooming monsters just because we want to spite an estranged spouse, a partner. You'll be hurting yourself if you cut your nose just to spite your face. So it's important that we do away with anything, any attitude, any action that suggests that we are using the children as a weapon, as a trophy, as a bait, as something with which to gain a win over our spouse. No matter how bad things go, let's maintain objectivity. Let's maintain reason. Let's remain rational. If it is a situation that can be sorted, it will be bad that you have already, exposed the children to such things before things are sorted. And children can also be manipulative, even in their innocence. Which is why it's important that we don't expose them to such things. Because when you start, they would cash in on it. They would want to take advantage of it. They will manipulate it and use it. Sometimes even against you. So it's important that, again I say it, we don't use our children as weapons, as trophies, as baits in the event of a conflict between any of us and the spouse. And then it is also important that we don't confide in our children. Whatever the subject of dispute is, whatever the cause of the quarrel is, whatever it is that has caused the conflict in the home, confiding in the children means alienating the children from one of the spouses. And that is wrong. You will be planting seeds of bitterness in the hearts of innocent children. And that is one of the ways that the cycle of abuse continues. So when children are taught, when you share and confide, unpleasant things to them about your spouse, you are planting and kindling a very negative mindset in them that may not easily be weeded off. So it will not be as easy as the way it was planted. So it's better to not confide the unpleasant things to the children. Allow them observe things for themselves. If you and your spouse conduct yourselves, responsibly, in a civil manner, you can have your disputes, reconcile where you can, and even if you don't, You can both effectively co-parent if you conduct yourselves well and you do not either pose a risk to the children. So if you start confiding negative things to the children, you will be pushing them away, alienating them, estranging them from the other parent. And that is not good. That disturbs, their mental wellness. Except where it is intended to protect them from harm. And I trust that you are able to responsibly make that assessment to determine if this is totally necessary for the protection of the children. Otherwise, spare them those details. It does not matter that, not that it doesn't matter, but don't go telling them tales that daddy doesn't want to bring money to pay for their school fees, mommy has been behaving badly lately, daddy did this, mommy did that. No, spare them those details. If you groom them right, they will make those observations themselves at the appropriate time. And it will be at such a pace and at a time when they'll be able to handle reasonably that observation or the outcomes of the observation. But if you start feeding them with the pain you are passing through, with the disappointment you feel, with your anger, with the bitterness, no, you'll be planting seeds that will not bear good fruits. And the last thing I would like to talk about is, please, can you prioritize the best interest of the child in whatever decision it is you take? Let it be about them, not about you. Only do those things